in the upper left, folks. In the blue, he is for hot-headed gaming. Give it up. It's NightPhoenix.
And the other pedestrian, spawning down on the bottom right for Infernalis Esports, it is GunGFuBanDa. I do love the pedestrian versus pedestrian matchup. It is one of the most interesting. And speaking of interesting things, it is a map where 2-gate is more prominent. We do have NightPhoenix getting in here with the much quicker scout than GunGFuBanDa. GunGFuBanDa, he's still going to go for the scout, just, you know, a little bit later than his opponent.
Steadfast, I'm actually kind of curious here as we get into this series. I haven't seen the vetoes for the entire setup, but seeing Moondance beat map 1 maybe gives me the idea that the players have been banning out those low ground natural ramp maps, the 1-gate expand maps, which I guess might make a little sense. I feel like there are 2 cohorts of Pro Dust players, right, in general. There are those that take a page out of Max Pax's book, and they really do like to go for that single gate expand, sometimes even on maps like Moondance. And then you have players that maybe take more of their inspiration from the top 2 Koreans who really do not like to get that really do like to get that second gateway. And so their maps are like Moondance. Their maps are what's another map that doesn't have a ramp? Please help me, Steadfast.
Cosmic Sapphire is
there
the
we go.
One
Yeah, that's
yeah. It's 5-2.
Yes.
The low ground ramps outnumber the flat ramps by, or the flat naturals, I suppose, by a 5-2 scoreline. That's a tough thing to overcome.
Steadfast, tell me, are you a flat ramper?
Am I a flat ramper? I do enjoy the occasional flat ramp, you know? I think I look at a flat ramp and I say yes. And then I look at a curvy ramp and I say no.
Exactly. Well, despite the fact that this is going to be a 2-gate expand, it's going to be Stargate play out of NightPhoenix, which is certainly an option. Normally, again, if you see the single gate, that will be a Stargate almost at the exclusion of things. And this means GunGFuBanDa might have a little bit more agency on the map. It does mean your Twilight tends to be a little bit faster. But on Moondance, there is a lot of dead airspace. I gotta say, I kind of like NightPhoenix. Not a lot has happened thus far, and this will get scouted. But I kind of just like the idea of NightPhoenix's opening, just on this map in particular.
Oh, yeah. Just in general, I think it's a great opening. I think they've both done a good opening here. Very slightly quicker Nexus for GunGFuBanDa, but, you know, NightPhoenix is not much behind anyways. I will say that probe is gigantic out of GunGFuBanDa, being able to get the scout, not just on the Nexus, but also the Stargate. It's a little bit unfortunate because it kind of makes his Sentry Stalker opening a little bit redundant. But maybe this Oracle, this Fakey, maybe he can get a bluff, maybe a small pro pull. No, yes, no. Nah, it's not going to do anything. We'll scout that there's a second Oracle, and that's going to mean that shield batteries are not as valuable as, you know, he would like. For now, NightPhoenix could catch a bit of a probe transfer. Gets 1 probe, but he will leave the Oracle very significantly hanging. Takes a lot of hull damage. Oh no, he's gonna get cut off. Oh, it goes down. Nice positioning on the Stalkers from GunGFuBanDa. Big mistake from NightPhoenix leaving that hanging.
And that's one of the problems of Moondance, Steadfast. We talk about how much space there is. There's a ton of space behind mineral lines on this map, but there's not a lot of spots that you can actually hide the Oracle. It's not like maybe Cosmic Sapphires would be a good example that has that back right corner, or I guess Waterfall's actually a really good one, that has that back right corner, that back base corner that's so easy to just wedge something back there and it's never touched. So NightPhoenix, he was trying to get the Oracle out to a spot where you could actually park it and really wasn't able to get there, but now Stalker's arriving in the natural. Shield Battery has a lot to say about that, though, and a Force Field is going to be fantastic. Stalker is dead, and we see the posturing. NightPhoenix just, it's not effective.
No, it's expensive. If anything, it's a net loss move. Not only does he not get anything done, he actually loses one of those Stalkers. But look at this. Okay. This is great, actually. I love this so much. He takes advantage of the fact that GunGFuBanDa has gone double sentry and used those for hallucinations. And he says, okay, you're scouting my main? Cool, no problem. Good luck scouting 3 of these gates when they are not in my main base. Very clever move from NightPhoenix. And he is going to be going for a 7-gate Blink Stalker all in. This is This has a lot of potential.
It really does, especially as long as he keeps that Oracle alive, which just means guaranteed vision onto the high ground. He does. We notice he is not being super aggressive with it. The first Oracle dove into the main base and it died, but the second one is just sitting there on the edge of things, maybe hoping to get some damage, but not even really trying, because that Oracle is probably the most important component of this 7 gate timing, but he gets scouted. GunGfu, why? Why did you look there?
Well, that's a good question, but it is the right place to look. He was already chrono boosting out one Immortal. He hallucinates another. Now he's going to chrono boost out the next one. Blinks in, gets the Oracle. Oh, this is looking so doomed already for NightPhoenix.
Yeah, you know, so it looks like GunGFuBanDa here is telling NightPhoenix that yes, the flat ramper conspiracy is in fact a conspiracy theory. Scientifically, we can prove that you just don't go up the ramp anyways. This is not going to work for NightPhoenix anymore. Maybe he can find some room where GunGFuBanDa is in the natural or on the map and he can blink into the main, but he can't even do that. Maybe, okay, so he's warping an Adept. I do like that. That does maybe give him an opportunity to put Adepts in the main and then have that blink. But for right now, it's 2 Immortals in the front. The Stalkers blink forward here, Steadfast. And even with this bit of a concave, it's move command from NightPhoenix on the left side. So he's not even getting advantage of that concave. And the Adepts really will have to be the saving grace. But GunGFu's on top of it. He's got the probe in the wall. This is just, oh man. GunGFuBanDa is so clean in this game 1.
That he is. I will say that blink forward actually did give NightPhoenix probably his only opportunity in this game if he could have pounced on it immediately, but now this blink forward will not. There are too many Stalkers here for GunGFuBanDa. It is a much better concave, and the Immortals, they're just going to add too much DPS. One of them does get picked off. The other one will as well, but GunGFuBanDa is going to, oh, he even saves the third Immortal. And NightPhoenix army supply plummeted right there. He's lost 24 Stalkers to 4 and 2 Immortals in this fight. Oh my goodness. Yeah, his army supply just fell off a cliff.
Yeah, I don't know if you have the plot open, but if you press numpad 2, the army supply graph is very depressing if you're a NightPhoenix fan.
Yeah, it shows us the result of this game, whether NightPhoenix wants to admit it yet or not. And of course, the reasoning for that, GunGFuBanDa is on 3 Nexus. He's on 58 probes. He's ahead in tech. He's getting his +1 weapons. Charge is going to finish up soon. There's just nothing that NightPhoenix can do at this point. He has to commit. He can't macro out of this. And, well, once again, we're going to see the block on those Adepts. They will shade into the third base, but unless he kills, I'm going to say literally 40 probes, he will not actually be able to win this game.
You know, yeah, 40 probes. You know what, Steadfast? I'll do you one better. He probably only needs 30. I think if he kills 30 probes, he's probably okay. But as it stands, 2 Adepts will not kill 30. They're going to kill 3, and that's an order of magnitude. You know, it's like 3. It's close. It's fine.
Yeah, if this were a true or false test, you know, he got 1 of 10 answers correct. So, you know, he's on his way. He's going to blink micro once again, but I mean, he's helping some of the purest copium in the land at this point, and it will not change the outcome of this game. He's trying, but it's not really an option. Oh, another blink forward coming in from GunGFuBanDa. There are a couple of probes going down on the backside again, but once more, it's small potatoes damage. We even have a little Zealot warp in here. I really am surprised that, you know, NightPhoenix hasn't tapped out yet.
I mean, I guess if you're looking at this, I was gonna say I guess if you're looking at armies, it doesn't look too horrible. But then I looked at the supply. It's like, no.
Exactly, yeah. And he's like, oh, I sniped 2 Immortals. Those are the big power units in his army. Oh, he even leaves a couple of these Stalkers hanging. And that is because he is dealing with the Zealot run by on the other side of the map. Dealing with it in air quotes because, I mean, he's barely even going to be able to hold it off. GunGFuBanDa, I mean, realistically, he won that game probably about 4 minutes ago, but he doesn't make any mistakes, and he ices it out. Well done.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not, as much as we can talk about this, it's not that easy, as we come back Steadfast. There we go. It's not easy to deal with things like that. GunGFuBanDa made it look easy. But that was a lot of pressure that NightPhoenix put on the map with the Oracle play. He had to make sure he was in the right spot, and then that heavy blink pressure. And I think maybe if NightPhoenix doesn't get scouted, maybe he puts the gateways even further away from the base. Maybe that's going to be enough. I don't know. But certainly, as that game stood, it looked tremendously good. It actually was tremendously good for GunGFuBanDa. But Steadfast, game 2 is going to be on a bigger map. It is a map with a natural ramp. So we're no longer on flat ramp supremacy. We will have data see for map 2. How do you think this changes up NightPhoenix's strategy?
That is a good question. I mean, traditional wisdom would say that both players will one gate expand or set up to do so. But I don't think that's a guarantee with either of these players. I think they could both still go for the 2-gate. We've seen both of them willing to mix it up, which I am a huge fan of, particularly in these group stage setups. As it stands right now, GunGFuBanDa looked incredible in that game number 1. I really want to shout out the hallucinated Immortal because that was a brilliant move. He did it super early too, so it didn't just suddenly appear. And, you know, NightPhoenix is able to easily tell. It soaked a lot of shots from the first set of volleys. So just well done by GunGFuBanDa. He did everything right.
I know he absolutely did. So let's see if NightPhoenix can put a little more, can widen that crack and really make something happen. Because, folks, game 2 is here. And in the upper right, in the blue, his build was interesting. Not quite good enough for Hot-Headed Gaming. It's NightPhoenix.
And spawning down on the bottom left for Infernality Esports, it is GunGFuBanDa. The big surprise of this group, the really shining star of this group. And look at this. It is going to once again be double gate versus double gate. So these players, I mean, they're certainly going to be capable of playing the low ground, but they are taking the Geralt route for now.
It's just so interesting. Seeing players go for this is so interesting to me. Because it feels like, especially on a map where you do have that natural ramp, there is no good reason to go for double gate over single gate. You get your Nexus faster, you get your tech faster on single gate expand. You can still go double gate at the natural if you really need to. And on a map like Data C, where any sort of pressure is going to involve significant proxy, which you can kind of scout because you'll be able to scout pylon numbers, it doesn't. I'm assuming it's a matter of comfort. Maybe these players don't feel comfortable enough on the 1-gate expand, but like objectively, I don't see a good reason why not to go for it.
I mean, objectively speaking, the 1-gate expand is better. Absolutely, it is better. Macro play will always, in the long run, beat the, you know, the quote-unquote more, well, just more aggressive builds. But I will say that part of what makes the 1-gate expand so good is having almost perfect scouting. When MaxPax was doing this and defending consistently against all the aggression that was coming his way, it was against players that were trying to slip stuff past him. And he didn't let that happen. He was always, you know, sometimes even sending 2 probes on the map to make sure that he scouted pretty much his whole side of the map and he didn't get bamboozled. So it is a comfort thing, I think. It is a simplicity thing. The execution is a lot easier on the defense. Now, we got something very interesting with this double gate versus double gate. Both players opened up double adept. They're both going to sneak around the other, and they both followed up with double stalker.
Huh.
The
probe's not there.
In the wall. Okay, well, here's a big difference. Ooh, GunGFuBanDa does miss the first shot, which actually is kind of a big deal because the probes got right on top of this. So he's only, does he get the 4th? Oh, gets it with the dying breath. Meanwhile, double adept on the other side of the map is going to get deflected. Yeah, no, still, this is very good. This is very good for GunGFuBanDa.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say still, though, that could have been so much worse there for NightPhoenix. But we got to point this out because this is just a display in really what is a skill check in this matchup. GunGFuBanDa last series, or last game, and in this one, he is so on top of having his probe where he needs to be. He's walled it off every time. NightPhoenix is not getting any damage with the adepts. Meanwhile, GunGFuBanDa tries it once. He gets 4 workers. He probably could have gotten 5, but he does target the pylon down first. But if you want just one discrete moment that showcases how these players are playing with respect to each other, it was the last minute or so.
Yeah, now I will say, NightPhoenix had the much quicker tech building, the Twilight Council, and also the much quicker Nexus. So he is able to already match the probe count of his opponent. And talked about macro versus aggressive strategies. I mean, we're already seeing it showcased here. NightPhoenix has been building probes a lot more consistently. But hang on, this makes me wonder, is this going to be a fake Nexus? Ooh, he starts one probe with the natural. This makes me think this is absolutely a fake Nexus. I think he's trying to show NightPhoenix that he is still building workers, but with the Immortal coming out being chrono boosted, yeah, there it is. I think he just canceled it. Yeah, he did. Oh, this is going to be an all-in out of GunGFuBanDa, or at least a dedicated pressure to try and kill the natural expansion at minimum.
Now, it's only 2 gates, though, which is... Oh, he gets the Sentry. That is expensive. I mean, you want that Sentry, right? You want the force field to maybe section off some of your opponent's stalkers. The Guardian Shield is so nice. Yeah?
Never mind. No, I am wrong about that. He didn't see the Nexus until just now. He thought this was an all-in from NightPhoenix. Okay. Wow. I saw the Adepts and I was like, yeah, he must know. Wow. Okay. So he was just playing extremely safe. NightPhoenix got the information, so he kept the Adepts alive and was actually able to figure out that his opponent was expanding. Okay, I had this backwards completely, and so too did GunGFuBanDa.
You know, that's actually one of the benefits, I guess, of NightPhoenix not getting any damage with his Adepts. He was consistently scouting. He was able to consistently check on what GunGfu was doing. Meanwhile, GunGFuBanDa not doing that. He was skimping on his sentries, so he didn't have a lot of easy scouts. He was building a lot of fighting units, because if you think you're being one base all in, you build a lot of units. You make sure that you can defend that. So NightPhoenix, despite taking 4 or 5 probes worth of damage early, finds himself in a pretty nice supply position. Certainly, he's up on workers a little bit. His third base is faster. His blink is done. GunGfu is only just now getting started. These stalkers from NightPhoenix are going to have a lot of effectiveness over the next minute or so.
Yeah, they have a ton of micro potential right now. He is going to go for the shield battery at the natural. Will get the kill on that, and doesn't lose on... Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Oh, wow. Oh, I saw the shots coming out, and I was like, oh, okay, he's got the kill for sure. What? How did he not kill that?
It's 3 HP. That's one more, like, that's half a shot. But I guess NightPhoenix made the same assumption. Like, yeah, I got this. This is fine. Let me back up. I got to focus on microing other things. I didn't quite have the last stalker clicking it. It does mean that the shield battery is going to die fairly easily when he shows up on the high ground. Again, his stalkers move forward, blink back, one stalker falls. But by this point, that's half shield. It's going to take a while again to wear this down, which sounds like not a lot, but 1 shield battery versus 2 when you are trying to break a high ground, it means that the aggressive player has to choose which shield battery to attack, which means you can overcharge the other one, and it keeps overcharge alive for so much longer. But despite all of this, Steadfast, NightPhoenix is up 10 probes. His third base is done. Like, we can talk all we want about the Stalker agency on maybe finding something, finding some value. The macro play in this game, the mind games, are really what we have to... really, what is the story of this game on Data C?
The funny part is, I don't even think it's NightPhoenix doing anything in particular to... get himself a good position, so much as I think it's GunGFuBanDa misreading the situation. Ooh, stalkers. Oh, nice job. He does blink away. Almost loses that one low HP stalker. But I think it's more than anything GunGFuBanDa, misreading the situation, and now he finds himself in a pretty terrible spot in this game, I feel like. He did have a +1 weapons lead in terms of the forge timing, but NightPhoenix has made that up, and he can go into the +2. They're both going to go into disruptors. This just feels like GunGFuBanDa kind of shot himself in the foot a little bit.
Oh, okay. NightPhoenix trying to get a little greedy there. He said he wants to kill both a stalker and a sentry. Doesn't really get either. In fact, he goes and he loses a lot of these stalkers. We talk about how good of a position NightPhoenix has been in, but that was... what, 6 stalkers to 2? That was such a better trade for GunGFuBanDa. He's going to have to keep doing that because his economy is very far behind. I do appreciate, by the way, what we see both players doing here with the quick transition into disruptors at the exclusion of a lot. Because this is Data C, it's really hard. It's really hard to break the core 3, core 4 bases. So even though NightPhoenix, he had that charge timing, and technically charge against Stalker Immortal is fantastic, there's just no good angle to attack into. So you get the charge, it means your warpins are good, it means you can harass, but move on to the next level attack. Don't get caught in that mid game.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I would even go so far as to say that on 4 bases, I really like extremely quick carrier play. Trigger's done it a fair bit in this matchup. It's yielded some pretty great results for him. It's not bulletproof, but I feel like in a situation like this, NightPhoenix probably could have gotten away with a very quick carrier transition, and it would have been pretty difficult to break, considering how much of an economic lead NightPhoenix has gotten himself into and how defensively GunGFuBanDa has already been playing. Now, we got to mention a couple of things. One, the Dark Shrine from GunGFuBanDa. NightPhoenix does have cannon in the natural, in the third, in the fourth base, but none in the main, so War Prism could be dangerous. And also the triple robo from NightPhoenix.
Yeah, I guess you have two options when you get on this 4-base setup. You can go triple, well, I guess traditionally double robo, but when you have this money, go triple robo, or that Stargate transition. And you talk about how hard that is to break, maybe. Stargate is also something that is super stylistic here, as both NightPhoenix and GunGFuBanDa start bowling for things. Actually got a big warp in the natural call. Stalks going forward. One disruptor falls. Second disruptor falls here, but he does have to back up a little bit. That being said, fourth base is going to go down. Shot on the disruptor, but it's only going to get one stalker, and GunGFuBanDa, he blinks forward. NightPhoenix blinking back. Both players trading tech for tech, but the economy of GunGFuBanDa continues to be in a poor spot. And I don't think GunGFuBanDa can chase that much more. Oh, he gets a big shot. There's the recall. Does not include the disruptors in that recall, though. That is very unfortunate. He will lose a couple more, but even still, a good fight for NightPhoenix, but now he's got to deal with some invisible men on the other side.
That he does, and it turns out the DT in the main base does get the damage done. That lack of a cannon really punishing NightPhoenix here. He loses 12 workers when otherwise he dealt with all the DTs. Basically, yeah, there's one kill on the cannon at the natural. Is there one at the third? Nah, it doesn't look like it, but he must have gotten the kill on the other DT. Very unfortunate right there that he didn't have the cannon in the main. Otherwise, everything pretty much went amazingly for him. Does suck that he lost those two disruptors, but he got a great trade in the context of the game, and he is really running away with the supply at this point. GunGFuBanDa's in a lot of trouble right now.
Oh, no, he really is. And this is where that triple robo really comes into play, because GunGFuBanDa and NightPhoenix both traded out their disruptor count around the fourth base. It worked out. I mean, it was great for NightPhoenix there. He killed the fourth. We're at 5 disruptors to 2 right now. This is a situation where, okay, he's going to lose a lot of zealots because zealots don't split well. But this is a situation where, realistically, NightPhoenix can just jump on top of the disruptors and kill them and have his own disruptors as a zoning agent, because stalkers, especially +3 stalkers, which is coming up in 45 seconds a minute, they deal with disruptors. They kill disruptors very quickly indeed. But notice what GunGFuBanDa did there. He blinks forward, he knocks the observer down, which is important for okay, that's a positive trade for GunGFuBanDa, but I thought it was going to be worse.
Yes.
And, okay, 4 stalkers go down. GunGFuBanDa's been kind of lax with his stalker micro, to be totally honest.
Yeah, very much so, I would say. Ooh, disruptor. Well, there's the other shot where both of them don't blink back enough. There isn't a War Prism here. There is one. Oh, no, that's a Zealot run by coming on in. Disruptor shot does fall just a little bit short. Battery overcharge will get popped. And now we've got NightPhoenix targeting it down basically as it expires. The thing is, NightPhoenix might lose confidence here moving forward, having taken some kind of big shots, even though we can see that he had a timing where he was about to kill his opponent. Zealots are going to get shoved away by the Zealot DT Warpin on the defense. And all of a sudden, GunGFuBanDa is pretty much right back in this game. Even though it is still a big potential advantage for NightPhoenix, he hasn't been able to break GunGFuBanDa. He's still on 4 bases, and he's still rather committed. Disruptors will get avoided, and he does get a kill. Ooh, now this could be big for NightPhoenix. Gets another positive trade right there. 2 disruptors for 0. But it feels like he was almost just going to kill his opponent right there, and instead it turns to nothing.
Oh, it really, I mean, that was such a snazzy blink, though, on the last second. Shot expires, pull Kobe on it. But the big surprising thing to me right now is, as good as it has felt for NightPhoenix recently, is, oh no, GunGFuBanDa not quite paying attention, but now shots go out bowling for disruptors. Disruptors will go down now. GunGFuBanDa, great trade there, forces NightPhoenix back. And NightPhoenix, he's down about 3,000 resources right now, as more of these zealots continue to fall. So, as GunGFuBanDa has stabilized his economy, 79 probes to 70, we are starting to see that supply crunch itself back to normal. The additional tech of the DTs is so useful here, but stocks move forward, and the disruptors, well, they knock the immortals down at the very least. Steadfast, but where more of that came from. Flips forward, though, the balls on this man to knock down the balls of GunGFuBanDa. He gets every single one, or at least all that is relevant. That one doesn't have a cooldown. And now, as much as I'm talking about, wow, it feels like GunGFuBanDa coming back into it, that was fantastic. But the DT is on the right side. Steadfast, this game's going back and forth so fast.
It is. He does sack a Stalker there with the Disruptor shot to kill one of the DTs. GunGFuBanDa did split back. The Zealot warp into the main base have been denying a lot of mining time and have really been distracting GunGfu. And that's part of the reason why NightPhoenix has been able to break through. And now there is an Observer. He's got Observer speed. And I think he has hit that critical tipping point. He doesn't have a War Prism with the main army. That's the one thing that he's missing. He's building 3 Disruptors at a time and rallying them forward. But if he could just warp in Zealots or Stalkers here, it would probably be... this probably would be over, actually, already. Ooh, DTs with Blink are going to try and blink it on top of this cannon on the other side. And if they can get it on top of it, which they will, they are going to take it down. That's going to create a lot of chaos, and there's no vision on the other side of the map. That is going to break the momentum of NightPhoenix for the moment.
Is that enough? Oh, there's something you blinked in. He means you can't blink out. So, yeah, you know, he got that. He got 11 probes. Fantastic. NightPhoenix is still on 4 bases. He can chrono out 4 probes at a time. He'll be back soon enough. And that is... at this point in the game, no player has an idea about a 5 base right now. It looks like GunGFuBanDa is moving something north that might be a probe, not sure. But the economy can't really support these mass DT warpins anymore. GunGFuBanDa, his main is just about mined out. His natural's getting close. He doesn't have the money for it, as this warp prism will finally go down, but it has been so value over the course of this game. And now Stalkers move forward, Disruptor. Oh no, he thought he had it! And he doesn't just blink enough Stalkers forward enough, so that was a lot of Stalkers going down, but still NightPhoenix, he has the supply lead. He's gonna kill this base. DT's on the north side again. The DT's the saving grace of GunGFuBanDa for the last 10 minutes. But I worry as the Observer shows up, the DTs, they're just not gonna be as effective as they might otherwise be, and yeah, sure, they force him back, but another big shot. Steadfast, what is NightPhoenix here? He's a professional bowler. He's hitting spares all over the place.
Yeah, and when he strikes hard. Getting a nice little turkey right there with a big hit. He kills his opponent's Observer, which means DTs are no longer in a viable defense. He has just been leaning on his opponent, and while there's a big probe lead here for GunGFuBanDa, it has been